evening. It's 6 o'clock on Saturday, January 21st, 2011. Welcome and thank you for joining us tonight for the English edition of Aura News, where we bring you today's top stories translated into English every weeknight. Today is the 6th-year anniversary of January 21st, 2011, when 4 protesters were killed outside the Prime Minister's office, and the Prime Minister held a meeting with the family members of the victims. During his speech, the Prime Minister declared that the January 21st murders are being considered a state crime and that the case will be sent to Strasbourg court. The Prime Minister spoke of justice being a new reality of the system reform, which according to him was previously a hostage of corruption. The Prime Minister vowed that justice for the crimes of January 21st, 2011 will be made and promised a retrial of the case after the judicial reform is in place. Justice for January 21, 2011, though delayed, will be made. Our government has tried to relieve your daily life. We will recognize the event as a state crime. The government recognizes it de facto as a state crime, and we will recognize it de jure as a state crime, and also at the Human Rights Court in Strasbourg. The retrial of this case will not end as the first trial did. The compensation fund is a government obligation, said the Prime Minister, adding that the murders were a strong boost to undertaking the judicial reform. Justice for the victims' families is closer with the judicial reform. The January 21st murders, the innocent victims killed by the state, became a strong reason, combined with many other reasons, to undertake the most transforming reform in the last 25 years, added the Prime Minister. After the meeting, the Prime Minister and the victims' family members paid homage to the boulevard where the 4 protesters were killed 6 years ago, protesting against the former government. Financial compensation for the families of the 4 people killed on January 21st, 2011 is one of the issues requested at the Albanian courts. Center Respublika, with the support of the Open Society Foundation for Albania, have been helping family members of the victims and announced today that 2 additional cases are being treated by the European Court of Human Rights over this issue. They are expected to finish in February. During 2016, the Strasbourg court has been reviewing the case registered in 2012, and a few weeks ago it registered another case requested by the family members of 3 victims. The families filed their suit concerning the way the investigation and trial of the case was handled by the Albanian courts. The European Court will consider the legal time frame, operational management plans of the demonstration, as well as the problems of the legal process, which has been criticized as an improper process. The decisions of the Administrative Court, though through a fair reasoning, acknowledged that the January 21 killings were a state crime and that the National Guard is responsible for the murder of Ziver Veizi, Hekuran Deda, Alex Nika, Faik Mirtai, and his son Bardash Mirtai, who committed suicide after his father's murder. After the court's decision, the current government reacted without delay in executing the decisions, giving hope that the will may be present for the attention to be turned to the denied justice of the court process, to see the possibilities of investigating every detail of the case, says the executive director of Center Respublika. Meanwhile, the executive director of the Open Society Foundation for Albania considered the family members receiving compensation as a success of civil society and showed hope that the European Court will make a positive decision. Red and Black Alliance activists protested today outside the Prime Minister's office to ask for justice for the 4 protesters who were killed on January 21st, 2011, outside the Prime Minister's office. The protesters threw flares at the Prime Minister's office and clashed with police officers as they tried to enter the Prime Minister's office. The chairman of the alliance also clashed with the police officers, calling the government's compensation an effort to buy off the victims' families. The chairman of the Red and Black Alliance announced the start of multiple protests under the motto Rama Fell, which he says will culminate on March 2nd when the alliance will set up tents outside the assembly building. Today we are declaring the Rama Fell movement. We will set up tents outside the Assembly building, and we will not allow the MPs to enter the Parliament building because we deserve a different Albania. We deserve an assembly with intellectuals, not with criminals, said the chairman of the Red and Black Alliance. The situation in front of the Prime Minister's office was tense, with police arresting some protesters. Later, the protesters moved their protest to the State Police Directory, asking for the liberation of the arrested protesters. Following the denouncement by Aura News, Tring Company has also filed a lawsuit with the prosecution against the Audio-Visual Media Authority for its activity during the January 19th meeting, when the authority made efforts to give national licenses by misuse of privilege led by favoritism. Yesterday, several prosecutors went to the Audio-Visual Media Authority office and seized the document files for the meeting held on December 29, 2016, when the AMA disqualified some operators which were competing to get a national license, and then only sent one company to be voted on, a company it is favoring. However, the company that was sent had already been voted against by the opposition. Aura News TV took the case to the administrative court, but the AMA director did not stop his efforts to give the license to his favored operator. On January 19th, the Audio-Visual Media Authority held another meeting, this time without the attendance of any television operators. They again voted to give the license to the company it favors, and the vote failed again. Now, with the Tring Company's lawsuit, the prosecution is expected to seize the documents of the January 19th meeting also. Democratic Party structures have started working to prepare their list of MPs for the electoral battle of June 18th. The Democratic Party chairman has ordered the structures to select people of high integrity who have not been engaged in politics before. The Democratic Party chairman for the Fier branch says that his structures are searching for candidates with high integrity. The DP chairman for Shkodra's branch also says that his structures are committed to finding the best people to represent Shkodra in Albania's parliament for the next 4 years. Even though the structures are being told to select people of high integrity, the list of candidates for Democratic Party MPs will still undergo the detailed vetting process. The Democratic Party chairman has asked the city structures to deliver their proposals by February 15th. (4,300 teachers from all around the country took the Ministry of Education's test for the Teachers for Albania initiative, which employs teachers based on their testing results. After the 2.5-hour test, the teachers said the questions were of an average level and verified there were no chances to cheat. The test was administered in 21 schools across Albania. Teachers will be put on a waiting list based on their results. The Ministry of Education says that the test results will be posted in 3 weeks. This is the 3rd year of the Ministry of Education's initiative for teachers to be hired based on merit. That's all for our English edition this evening. Please join us again Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. for your local news in English. My name is Mari, and on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.